by the Fiora once again, and we'll see where the changes lie from either of these teams. Is Vladimir the second ban from Dark Passage?
Yeah, no one's having Gnar. Every single time. Get this champion out of here. First ban.
Ooh, Nidalee.
There we go. I like that they're respecting Kyrie's Nidalee as the series goes on. He hasn't played much of it, but that is a style that he looks to go towards. But if they do leave up Elise, that's something he very well just would first pick.
Well, we get rid of the gangplank on the blue side here from Dark Passage. As the final ban comes in, it's going to be the Shen. So those 4 top laners are vetoed from this entire series.
And if they're
apart from that
comfortable,
Shen game too.
if they're comfortable with about every matchup, Vladimir's gone, and they're primarily just looking for counter picks at this point. They can either just go with a Braum pick or an Elise pick. They don't want to show much. And with Nidalee down, there's no reason to.
Karma has been a bit of a point. Both of these teams as well. Has been a champion first picked quite often this tournament so far.
Yeah, but for Dark Passage at this point, there's really no priority that they generally go towards other than just pure counter pick. Pick for lane, and on top of that, if perhaps there's a priority towards... Hey, I guess it's Cassiopeia. That's one pick.
There it is. Surprise. Snake Lady.
That was fairly dramatic.
It was. We got an increase in volume. We got a black screen back into it.
I feel like she altered us on her way in.
I just want a drum roll.
It's because you face tanked a petrifying gaze, you noob.
The only thing you can add to that is a drum roll to just get to that point. You're like, oh, there we go.
We'll have to cue that up.
Yeah, next time.
All right, we'll sort that one out, guys. As Ezreal Elise are going to be the answering picks here on the side of INTZ, and making sure that they pick away the Ez from Zeitnot is a cute idea. Macau.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I thought the Ashe was so incredibly good out of Macau in their victories. I love the setup CC that they have from the AD carry position.
If you're going to pick 2 as well, I mean, Elise Ashe, it's like pick composition. Yes.
But also incredible late game scaling. I mean, that's one thing you have to say about Ashe. You know, the 80% crit build, the fact that she can go into more I guess AD as the game progresses as well, really does scale incredibly well with the Q damage. Ezreal, also one of the high scaling AD carries in the game if you learn your abilities. I mean, he outputs a ton of damage, but I think that for INTZ, the Ashe has really been critical so far.
Yeah, and it would be a really good pick into Cassiopeia. You would just be able to pick it out completely. Ashe and Elise would showcase a pick comp through and through, but regardless of that, you would have strong lanes, and at this point, if you're showing that Ezreal this early, balls in Dark Passage's court, just get a lane that's strong enough. Maybe even take away the Karma as time goes on.
Well, speaking of takeaways, it's going to be the Echo finally removed from Yang. Cosq has locked that one in. We'll be going to Elwyn towards the top side of the map. Huh. Yeah. Well, we'll see exactly what INTZ do want to pick into it.
It's a good matchup. You get the Rek'Sai for the pick. You just go for a farming early game style. Go for those Scuttle Crabs. Really dictate where Elise is going now. Revolta's smart in the sense that even if he didn't have the lanes going in his favor last game, he was still able to A, put a lot of pressure on Dragon, but B, create his own pressure with that interesting bot lane dive that went in their favor.
Karma Trundle. Imagine how cool that would be right now for the double flex.
Nah, that would be too cute.
Oh, so cute. But no, it's not going to be that. Malzahar's picked up. Oh, I got so excited.
For nothing.
I know. I know. It happens more often than it should, really.
But I do like the Trundle specifically. I know Malzahar is going to be doing quite a bit in being able to either lock down Cassiopeia or specifically 100% lock down Echo if he ever tries to dive straight into the backline. But Trundle is going to be doing quite a good job too, because you put down a Trundle pillar for Cassiopeia and she is going to have a hard time to get out of any situation.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? She has to really turn around and start taking the fight to you at that stage. Going to be interesting to see if Cosq can get the ultimates on point, because a lot of people are going to be flying towards him.
I just like the fact that it's a stare down in the mid lane.
Ah, the Kench has been locked in. I'm happy.
There we go.
Unbenched it.
Something you've been talking about throughout the entire series, honestly. It's going to be interesting to see how INTZ take this, because not only are they going up against the Cassiopeia and a Sivir, they're actually going for a composition that's front to back, where they can actually look to dive. They have to kill whoever's in front of them, whoever tank really comes up. So Cassio is going to have a lot of space to do as much damage as possible.
Yeah, completely. I mean, they have two very good scaling damage threats in the Sivir and the Cassiopeia that do good front-to-back damage. Agree with that. The other reason I love Tahm Kench is now only one person has to build QSS. I mean, it's a Tahm Kench. He builds a QSS, gobbles up whoever has been ulted or has been picked from Revolta and, you know, should be able to just run them to safety. Makes for a really flexible composition. I generally like it against Ashe picks. I've talked about it a lot, but, you know, against Mal is a very similar theory there.
Are they going to do it in the wrong order? That's really sad. Well, it is going to be the Karma locked in, and that is going to be the support.
Tank top lane Karma coming out game 4.
Wow.
That'd be
Welcome back to
to
Season 2.
No, it's been hit really popular lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Spirit
Oh,
Visage.
the Spirit Visage Rod of Ages thing.
You gotta
That's
bring
not
in
a real
context
thing,
there.
is it?
You gotta put in context. You can't say real popular. You gotta
I was gonna
Where
say.
is it popular, buddy?
I mean, I saw that video on Reddit, and it was a bit silly.
Thank you,
but
front page.
all right, and damn it, I proved his point. This is the worst. I keep doing this, but
I didn't say viable. You're putting words in my mouth now, Raz.
oh, dear.
Hey man, you said popular. You gotta be able to clarify your point there.
Didn't need to, I guess. It's one of those things. But it is going to be the Karma picked up one more time, and that's the Ezreal Karma bottom lane. There's a lot of poke coming out of this team.
Also much more control around a wave than what Ezreal is normally afforded. I mean, Ezreal generally gets shoved in upon, especially by someone like Sivir. But this time around, you know, the fact that Karma can just queue the backline continuously and, you know, allow Ezreal to shove that in helps out his laning phase tremendously, because that is one of his weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, more so lately, you've been seeing people pick Ezreal for the lane, where you can actually have an Ezreal Karma lane, go up against either Jhin, Ashe, or specifically Sivir, and just poke it out. So you might get shoved in. Not going to happen with a Karma pick, but at the same time, you have control over trades. What poke you can really go for. So Ezreal, who has struggled through laning phase historically.
Yeah, Tahm Kench also very, very good when you're going for all-in type trades as well. You can then just gobble them up, and then all of your engage is gone, and you can go for some sort of re-engage. Now, just poke them both out.
Best level 2 in League of Legends, the Tahm Kench all-in. I mean, if you land one Q onto someone, you really can all-in them in the bottom lane, flashing forward, gobbling them up.
We'll see whether they can actually do it as we are onto the Rift for game number 4. Match point for INTZ. Dark Passage once again blue. We'll see whether that's going to spell victory and bring us to game number 5. Brazil so close. They can smell worlds right now. You can hear the crowd. They're behind INTZ. Can they do it this game? It's Elwin. For the first time this series on the Echo, Yang going to try his hand at the Trundle, and I'm going to do my very best to call them by their correct names. This whole series, it's been the other way around.
INTZ now, they're not going up against a pesky Braum. They can decide to come in and go for their usual poke, try and stop them from backing at the very least. They're going to go right back in, which would be really damaging for Rogu since he is fairly low. Going to back away because Kazuku did end up hiding. Don't want to find yourself in a poor situation like that.
They've got the coveted Cassiopeia pick now. Of course, massive win rate so far in IWCQ.
And I mean, the first game we saw from Kazuku when he was on Cassiopeia was a stomp. He was incredibly far ahead in that matchup. And that was actually his first, I think he had a 13 KDA that game, his first MVP throughout the entire regular season there. Regular season, I'd say round robin.
Yeah.
And then he didn't have a good run going forward. So
this is really bad. They just got zoned off creeps again. The Dark Passage bottom lane. See whether Zeitnot started the W or the Q, because you might be able to pick up some here, but they stopped the level 2, which really slows down the impact that Tahm Kench can have in the lane because he started the Devour.
Well, checking in on the other lanes, there's of course not a whole lot really happening, and we move back down here. It looks like they are able to get at least into experience range for the moment. It's the right spawn. It's looking real dangerous, and look at that poke already.
It's a bit of a mirror from the first game, where it's actually in the opposite foot, where INTZ's lane couldn't walk in, and they had the option of getting poked out completely. Meanwhile, topside, we have a Trundle versus Echo, and Trundle's able to take the proper trades. But of course, Elwin this time on the Echo is going to back away, not really going to commit to anything.
Kure already donating over a blue buff here to Cosq, who's moved straight up in this lane, as he likes to do on basically any champion he's playing. INTZ just trying to poke here underneath this turret, and able to finally get the better of these trades. Chum comes in
Actually looking for the all-in.
Yeah, parallel convergence avoided, thank goodness for Yang, but he gets underneath the turret. Gonna be okay as Kure caught in the jungle. Revolta forces the flash. The last auto attack not gonna get in there, and the red buff isn't gonna burn down the Rek'Sai. That was so close.
Yeah, it certainly was, and now they're trying to collapse, but Rogu's in trouble as well.
Yeah, boomerang over both of them as Zeitnot makes his way through, gets the reset, but the heal has to come out, and he gets exhausted. Macau's over the side as well, as INTZ are all over this jungle. The spell shield comes in, the consume, thank goodness, as Cosq for the flanking play, of course. I mean, it's Cosq as Revolta gets over the side with a very cute repel.
But Cosq is the real... I guess the person that loses out the most of this, because his lane was shoved up and now it's just dying to creeps. And they can see that they're trying to place a trap for him, so he has to go the long way around. And it's just being denied all this experience.
He committed so much to that play. Ended up burning Flash and Ghost, so definitely going up against an Elise as well, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, that certainly isn't going to be the case. You can see, actually, does a pretty good job of getting back into the lane and regaining some control, but now Revolta still behind them.
Revolta has to watch out. He's half HP. That's not going to be a fun time to gank a Cassio.
Oh, this ward positioning very good here for Dark Passage. This cute little Mystic Shot lands from Macau as Boomerang lands as well. Zeitnot might need to be a little bit careful, but there's the Tongue Lash. As Kure once again, he knew they were there. There's the Mantra Q. He got snared up there at the same time as there's the Consume. Red buff is stolen by Revolta.
So Revolta steals it away in the end. He really is doing a good job of keeping Kure down. But, you know, bottom lane has to rotate one more time, so really is a back and forth trade right now.
Speaking of back and forth, continued smackdown on the top side.
Yeah, this is incredible pressure coming out of Revolta, where it doesn't matter that he was fairly low in terms of HP. He always had the lanes crashing in, and so not only is Kure behind, but the lanes adjacent to him are just falling further and further behind, just simply trying to help out.
Revolta able to get back into his jungle, take away his blue buff. Kure desperately trying to find his way through, but 10 CS already in the lead for Revolta. Looks like he's getting more and more comfortable on this Elise pick, and we'll see whether he can orchestrate another First Blood with a potential early dive. Remember, First Blood didn't take... wasn't very quick in game number 3. He was able to orchestrate that dive. Kure at least grabs himself this Rift Scuttler, and we'll see now that he's topside whether he's going to try and keep Yang down.
Yeah, that's something you have to really watch out for. Kure going to be able to pressure out that top side a little bit. Not as much as he would have. There's not really, honestly, that pink that is in that Tri-Bush top side. It's going to stop him from really having any form of kill pressure or, honestly, flash pressure.
Well, level 6 has been reached in the mid lane. You can see that Revolta wants to go over the Raptor Pit wall, so it's going to be interesting to see if they go for this dive. There we go.
Yeah, there's the double flashes as Tokka's got altered before he could do anything. First blood goes to Cosq as now he's trying to kite this one out. Kure is going to find Revolta, and that double flash tactic did not work.
So this is actually something that Swiffer used to do in the OPL. He was one of the first people that I saw do it. There is a buffer time between when the Malzahar ultimate comes out and the fact that the suppression actually takes effect. And you can buffer your Cassiopeia ult to destroy his day. So if you don't flash in with your passive up, you die against Cassiopeia because she turns it around so incredibly well. Kure was there. Very telegraph play. Obviously, we have the minimap so we can see, but obviously they knew as well because that did not end up the way INTZ wanted it to.
Yeah, we do see it in EU LCS as well. In fact, Cassiopeia was the counter pick coming out towards the Malzahar, not only just because of the skirmish factor, where Cassiopeia can out-skirmish talkers in every scenario, but at the same time, you can actually counteract that Malzahar ulti. So really well played. The reaction to not only just find out that he was getting two-man gank.
So it's a little bit of both, right? It's really well played out of CosQ to buffer that, and it's really poor understanding from Tokkers of actually having his passive available when he goes for the play. I mean, it bites both ways.
Oh, wow. Fantastic pillar to stop the tunnel as Curé now has to be very careful of Yang, who throws down the ultimate. Parallel Convergence going to stop the follow-up, and the Time Winder going to help, but that is a flash out of the Rek'Sai.
Yeah. Really well played. That, like, the Trundle pillar just to pretty much counteract his tunnel. Chip him down, take down his flash. That's a gank power taken out of Curé now. Not able to tunnel flash to really get anything going for himself. So he's going to probably just look to farm up for the rest of this game, maybe. Or just the duration of it.
Well, here goes Elwin still, trying to get aggressive. Utilize that passive, nip in and out. CosQ now with control of this wave. NCS lead, shoving relentlessly. Malzahar always will be useful. Let's see whether CosQ can go ballistic, because we know how he plays with the lead. And it's much better, generally, than when he's even.
Yeah, CosQ's actually looked like he's blown off a little bit of rust. I mean, his Varus games were getting better. He was able to put down a lot of poke. He was getting caught out a lot in game number 1. But game number 2 and 3 looked pretty good and started this game off in pretty nice fashion as well. So see whether he's able to continue to execute upon it.
Already going up for a possible dive up top side. You can see they've got sole vision of this area.
Yang doesn't have ultimate either. He needs to get the heck out of here, but he's been cut off.
Yeah, Miasma looking to try and stop him as well, as in goes everyone. Parallel Convergence gets the stun, and look at the damage from CosQ.
Ray's dead though.
Unfortunately, he was tanking up the turrets. There's a flash onto Revolta. He's going to get destroyed. Whoa, manages to get the repel, but the double kill does eventually come in, and Elwind is going to survive the turret.
That was really sloppy from Revolta. He should have gone immediately into repel and got underneath the turret, but he went human form for pretty much no reason there, as was really strange to see. Had red buff and everything, so just would have been able to apply the slow. So great dive executed, actually. CosQ picking up another double kill. He's now 3-0-0. That's going to be a huge Elise, but INTZ, you can see that the pressure's starting to come in a little bit.
Yeah, they disengage from this entirely. But they're going for a fight.
Yeah, Yang looking for it on the bottom side of the map as Macau's in trouble. Elwin's gone down low already as the double teleports were in there. Rogu, oh, true shot barrage, not quite enough as Elwin's going to get turned on and destroyed. Tokkers grabs up that kill. INTZ, can they get any more, as there's the huge Cassiopeia. Revolta doesn't land the cocoon. That looked like it hit, personally. But they are going to turn this one around into just the mountain rig.
A whisker away from nailing the mid laner there. Revolta not able to come up huge, but still a good turnaround play. You know, teleports going into the bottom lane. They get the jump. Rogu lived on nothing. They're able to take down Elwind, and they do pick up first dragon.
Yeah, that was a great response, especially since Dark Passage did have a lot of pressure topside, a lot of vision as well. So the fact that INTZ were able to have that response play on the bottom side, able to regain pressure, regain advantage. Really well played.
Yeah, and give a bit of that money back to Tokkers as well, who will have to go toe-to-toe with CosQ. Curé making his way around, but his mid laner is going to get back into this lane. And just put some diseases onto these minions, clear them out.
They can't be happy with that, though. They have to continue to pressure. They're going up against CosQ with 3 kills, farming up a storm.
Yeah.
He honestly, even though he's had a he's either black or white, because in the regular, on the round robin.
CosQ giveth, CosQ taketh away.
Exactly, but the one consistent portion is the fact that his CS per minute is always, he's the second in the, honestly in the tournament in terms of CS per minute. He's remained fairly consistent in that.
Thanks for being honest with us.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
7th on KDA.
I mean, I thought you were going to lie to me, but the fact that you were honest, Raz, it just brings it back a little bit.
It is actually pretty ridiculous looking down the line of statistics here. Like kill share 7, kill participation
I'm an honest
8,
man.
KDA 7th, CS per minute 2nd. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, he's a very consistent player in terms of farming, and now he's had 3 kills to his name on Cassiopeia. So you have to continue to pressure him out. It's going to be a hard task here.
They've spotted Curé on the top side of the map, however, and it looks like they're moving down bottom for a bit of a dive. You can see Revolta in behind, and it's very dangerous. The first dive onto Yang was really masterful because he didn't have his ultimate available. Any repeat dives are going to be pretty difficult to execute upon because that's not going to be the case. So even though Correa playing top side of the map, don't think there's really much to trade there apart from, you know, denying some farm.
Ooh, good Cocoon lands, is on the hunt, has been popped. Just trying to get Dark Passage out of the way. Minion Wave is dealt with. INTZ looking for that first brick.
Yeah, that was a little odd. I mean, they did burn out the Sivir ulti, but there wasn't a wave to work with. They could have perhaps did it on the next wave. Yeah. But that all really happened was Volta showed himself on the map for a burn of Sivir ulti.
Oh, you're going to get... No, the Cocoon doesn't land and Revolta's going to get destroyed. And that was vision for both players.
Yeah, full vision there for Revolta, but Cosq just... I don't even know if that's a juke. He just ulted him point blank and it stopped him for the Cocoon. That was a really nice play, though, because he understands his limit on the champion. He understands that, you know, if he's in a position where he can take the fight, he's willing to do so because he's had 3 kills. Now he's got a 4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a ban that's been coming in quite consistently against Cosq since day 1. His Cassiopeia play has been pretty good. Of course, he's been gifted that with a dive topside. But now, question is whether he's going to be able to hold it on.
Well, Tokas is going to ult up Kirei as the rest of the follow-up is here, but can he get the flash off? He does. The snare still comes in. True Shot Barrage not able to be dodged. There's the Malefic Visions. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. As he barely survives. Elwin pops up into the sky, though, in the top lane. Meanwhile, ults himself out. Good stun onto Yang. But he's just going to keep wailing on you, Mr. Echo. You're still going to have to run away, and he does so.
Yang didn't actually have timers of the flash. He could have flashed after him there, and Elwin's is not available still. That was definitely a solo kill in the making for the Trundle, but decides to not overcommit for it, as we have some nighttime on Summoner's Rift again. Yeah. And I like that feature. You know, never thought we were going to get it added. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it did kind of take you out of the realism. For the game could go on for 50 minutes, and you'd be like, well, it's been Dave for the entire time.
Well, generally, it doesn't take 50 minutes for a day to end, you know, Rez?
Depends what planet we're on.
And hey, that is a good point.
I've watched a few shows. 50 minutes could be a week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure about...
Talking about 50-minute games, it could go for a week. World Championships too.
Ah, yes.
Oh, dear.
Ah, yes.
Well, not the case this time.
The other day. That was good. That was a good set.
You're watching
WE play CLG.
Oh, wow, that is an old one.
That's something I'd like to go back for, not just for the game, but just for the downtime. It's a really weird thing to say, but...
Well, some really weird things were said, if I remember correctly.
Ah, yeah.
But it's pretty ridiculous.
Right now on this Summoner's Rift, Dark Passage is starting to really take over.
Yeah, it's Jockstar trying to get the snare. They're trying to clear out the minion wave too, but I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to. Zeitnot, with his Essence Reaver already completed, has a lot of AD. They're not able to get it on this wave. They run out of minions.
Teleport play is available because there is a deep ward in the second brush that Yang can get to. He has got the shove already on the Echo.
And just from that pressure, they pull in Revolta. They have to. Which allows Cosq a lot of freedom to shove up in this lane and chip turret if he wants, but he looks like he's just going to farm up Raptors here.
Yeah. Tokas is able to clear out the minion wave quite easily underneath this turret. You're right, of course, Cosq has so much control.
The best thing about first brick gold on tower, of course, is the threat of it in and of itself, because you're going to have to pull in the entire map to try and keep it up, or you're going to just concede it entirely. And no one wants to concede that much gold, so... Of course, beneficiary is going to be Cosq and throughout the pressure.
You can see they can't actually keep it off the turret, so it is going to fall down unless the play comes through right now, but Cosq is rotating as well.
Yeah, nice Cocoon for the disengage, but in goes Kira, gets the flash knock-up. Jockster's going to die. Now Rogu looking for even more with the Abyssal Voyage, but doesn't get it.
Really nice patient play, to be honest, out of Dark Passage there. They could have forced the turret down the first time. They didn't go for it. Instead, Cosq rotates across, burns a Ghost, and, you know, puts down so much pressure that there's no real chance of a teleport play coming out of Yang. So they lose the turret, they lose a member, and they're going to lose the dragon as well. Dark Passage just extending this lead.
Yeah, and INTZ no position to try and contest this one whatsoever. So that is going to be even on Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, and it just comes down to execution on that one, because Kirei, even though he was about to get snared from Karma, was able to layer his own knock-up at the same time, able to get the kill just based off of it. So they're not only getting the right plays done, but they're doing it correctly.
Yeah, 100%. Let's take another look at that. So turret goes down, Jockster tries to get the stare, but Kirei dives in, able to pick up 1 kill, and then, you know, props to Rogu, who actually got a really deep ulti here and was able to get behind, burnt the flash out of Macau as well, so really nice play out of the support. In saying that, what we didn't see meanwhile was the fact that Yang was between 2 turrets, 1v1ing an Echo and entire Crit Wave, and winning.
Yeah. So this is what we were expecting the other way around heading into this series, was it was going to be top lane against the world. Now it seems like the opposite story is true. Dark Passage, the opposite end of that matchup. Trinity Force now done for Elwind. We'll see whether that changes things, but looks like we're not even going to have that 1v1. INTZ have had things turned around on them. The Trundle now moving back towards bottom lane.
The best thing about expectations in general is just how much time these teams have had to prep, but it looks like they want this fight.
Yeah, Revolta is going to get knocked up. A lot of damage back, but there's the snare onto Kirei, but not a lot of follow-up damage. He's very tanky at the moment with his Cinder Hulk completed.
They're using the Sivir ulti actually really well. They just want to play towards the wave control that Sivir gives them. All of a sudden, they chipped out Revolta. He's going to have to go back to base. You know, that means that they secure themselves a 2nd turret of the game. Not only did they get that first structure bonus, now they're going to be able to pick up a 2nd one. It's back to 5,000 gold at only 18 minutes in. Huge advantages right now. Mid lane's right for the picking.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have side waves down, especially with this massive, this large of an advantage, Sivir and Rek'Sai are the best at taking control of it. It looks like they're going to try for something.
Yeah, there's the Ghost. Rogu is going to get picked off. And is going to go over to Macau as now red buff, a definite option for Revolta.
And this is a real worry in the lane that Yang is just destroying Elwind at this point of the game. And Yang has consistently got Rift Herald buffs.
Yeah.
This set. I mean, it's a strange objective to play towards. I think we saw like 4 taking the whole group stages or something ridiculously low.
Yeah.
But this set, Yang has definitely used that to his advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that's a definite point, mostly because Rift Herald can give you so much, especially you would expect Dark Passage to be playing towards it with how much top priority they have. But it's definitely been an objective that's been falling down the wayside, and INTZ, they play smart, and if you do want to offset topside pressure, Rift Herald is definitely a good way to do that. Well, especially late Rift Herald. If you get it 15 minutes to 20 minutes, then the fact that it lasts longer throughout the game, it does scale with levels, so gonna actually offset matchups quite significantly.
And more importantly, it scales with your opponent's items. Because realistically, like 5% of someone that has 3 or 4 items is going to be much more in that regard. As now Tokka's just getting chased down by Cosq. That mid lane turret, not long.
No, Jockster and Tokka's are going to try. True Shot Barrage also attempts, but not going to happen. Backline of minions is easily enough. And the whole outer ring now being dealt with by Dark Passage.
And to lose your whole outer turrets, especially against this composition, Sivir is going to always have priority, just completely shoving out lanes as fast as possible. Rek'Sai will always have vision control, especially A, if he has control, but B, if he's fighting for control, always able to have those Prey Seeker invades and control pinks. So right now they're in a great position to hold it. Question is how they're going to use it, because historically throughout the series, they've just pretty much played towards Baron and stalled out time.
Yeah, more importantly, this time when they do play towards that Baron buff, because you know what's coming. They have the Cassiopeia to be able to take it down. Revolta gets stunned up again.
Cosq somehow able to take the blue buff. Petrifying Gaze now on cooldown. Could be good news here for INTZ if they can actually make something happen.
And that's a scary point right there for the future. The Trundle Pillar really did force Cosq to fight. Now Cosq, of course, is in the position where he's willing to take any fight. But if they do find themselves in a poor position, if Cosq does get caught out, as he's had positioning problems throughout the entire tournament, then that Trundle Pillar could be the way INTZ comes back into this game.
They're definitely not out of it yet. Only 5,000 gold the lead, 22 minutes. They've still got a lot of standing gold on this map. They can move around, see whether they can take down some turrets, get that free global. into their pocket.
INTZ just need follow-up damage at this point. Right now, Ezreal's scaling up. He's got his 2-item spike. Probably going to be heading towards his Blade of the Rune King. But in general, right now, if they can get the follow-up damage, it'll be solid. Right now, Dark Passage have not even gone into a QSS, not a single one. So one lockdown is fairly strong, fairly effective.
Especially if it's onto CosQ. I mean, he's holding so much of the gold right now. 60 CS advantage, 4-0-0. Is in a position to be able to carry this game, but the danger of that versus all the lockdown CC that is available on the INTZ lineup is that you can eliminate a lot of that advantage with one fell swoop.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely massive right now. There's no other way to describe it. 3 completed items is just huge.
For a champion that can build 6 completed items as well, means it's just going to get worse and worse as this game goes on.
Every champion can build 6 completed items.
That just doesn't have to build boots.
You don't have to build boots if you don't want.
Hey, that's a good point. Still gets the movement speed without building boots.
I mean, the thing about Cassio is when she gets behind early game, boots are actually really cost efficient.
Yeah.
There's a reason everyone builds them as like their first or second item. So it's not very often you get to speak about the passive in a very positive light like that.
I was trying. That was the beauty of it.
The free efficiency on the attack speed of Berserker's Greaves. Of course, not efficient in this. Not for
Cassiopeia?
Not for Cassiopeia, but I'm just talking about boots in general. The stats that they give you, especially the magic penetration coming out of the pen boots, fairly good early.
Yeah, flat pen versus 80 carries are incredibly good.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you were mentioning third item for Ezreal. I actually wouldn't like to see a Blade of the Rune King. I want to see him more Mount Mortius. Just because otherwise he's in very big danger of just getting destroyed, as is Elwyn right now, who's going to go back to his shadow.
Yeah, it was subjugated, but Yang just going to turn around and walk really quickly into the minions. And this is a very scary situation.
Well, this is what we said that Elwyn should have been doing against Yang. Yang's just sticking bottom lane right now, and he took the turret around him. He ulted him up, was able to, tank it for as long as possible, got the turret down around him, and then shoved him out of lane still. That's the power of Trundle in this split push situation.
And Elwind has just built himself a QSS, possibly to try and start team fighting. I hope he didn't do it to try and get rid of Subjugate. That doesn't work.
I think everyone knows that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. And so, of course, that's just going to be a lot worse in the sense that 100% INTZ are going to continue to play towards the split that Dark Passage should have done in the first game, and they're never going to let Elwyn come into fights with 100% HP.
Well, Abyssal Voyage is going to get towards the top side of the map. Rogu forces a flash out of Joxter, but he survives.
But one more time, they've just gained control of this red side jungle, which is so massive for Cassiopeia comps, because they are able to burn through that objective in no time whatsoever.
Especially with help of this Mountain Drake that they have already collected.
Yeah, all it takes is, a blue buff to be started up by the enemy mid laner under vision or something like that, and Cassiopeia just burns through the objective. And they've done a really good job this time of keeping that vision control that we speak about so much.
Well, Cocoon lands on Rogu. Immediately, QSS's it. Joxter looking to try and commit onto this fight. Zeitnot, good boomerang. Stops the engage from the Karma.
Best thing for INTZ here is that they can constantly look to pressure around Baron side, so it's not a free take for them, simply because they're not in a timer. Yang is actually providing a lot of space here.
Well, gets himself in there as Rogu's ulted up. Kirei very, very low as Zeitnot gets hit by the True Shot Barrage. They're looking to try and brute force this one as the Tahm Kench does fall down. Revolta tanking up a fair bit as there's the flash ult from CosQ off to the side. They're trying to lock him down. The exhaust is there as Joxter solo. Elwyn grabs the kill. Revolta falls down. Dark Passage with the revenge. As now CosQ getting poked. Yeah, Macau still needs to be respected.
But that might be Baron. I mean, they can turn around. They still have a lot of health on Elwind. He's quite tanky. They can probably go towards the objective and at least force it. Teleport is available for Yang, so if there is a ward nearby, they can challenge. Here we go.
Yeah, teleport immediately used as Yang can get a pillar into this pit, but look at that Baron melt to the damage of Dark Passage. There goes the pillar as Yang may just have to drive this one by. Zeitnot is going to get, oh my goodness, that is a lot from Tockers as Elwind, he also has the Malefic Visions. It's not going to spread as another pillar in a great position, and you can see the Mystic shots doing work. Roku is able to get out his mid laner, but sacrifices his jungler for it, and that is 2 Barons able to walk away from the pit.
At least this time they did try and disengage. They lose 3 members. But 2 members got out. I really like the gutsy call out of Dark Passage. That's how you win games. I mean, they were able to go towards the Baron buff. They picked that one up. They give away a little bit in response, but it's still going to be 2 members and about a 4,000 gold lead. So it
was still a bit poor. They did split up pressure and disengage. Kiray went into an opposite direction of where Zeitnot was, and so Zeitnot ended up dying off of it.
Oh, this is Flying Gaze under the turret, but Yang does have the Merc Treads, and they're looking to try and brute this one down. Looks like Revolta able to get himself in a decent position, but they don't want to bite off too much.
They're teleporting in, actually.
No. Cow. Puts himself over to the side. Jockster, oh my goodness, possibly caught out. That doesn't have the Rylai's Crystal Scepter just yet. Parallel Convergence, no stuns. And Kozq still looking for it. Oh, the poison lands, and there it is. Twin Fang is going to net him the support.
Yeah, it was actually ghosting after him, so Teleport used that really nice response out of Dark Passage. Now with a numbers advantage, as well as a couple of Baron buffs, look to shove up this mid lane in response, so they really are starting to accelerate the pace of the game. I love how they're playing around Kozq right now.
Yeah, he is the major force at this point.
Well, he has to set all the tempo for them, right? He is pretty much all their gold.
Yeah.
And he almost has that Rylai's done for 4 completed items.
Sivir is scaling up, though. At this point, she does have a BF sword. Definitely going to be going into the Infinity Edge. So once she can get that going for her, it's not going to be all on Kozq at this point to provide the damage.
Look, just able to zone everyone away. This inner turret is going to fall for free, as Yang is looking to try and defend in that inner turret. Bottom lane, you've got Tokka's dealing with a big creep wave.
That's what it's about. I mean, you can say fall for free, but really when he gets Liandry's Torment, he's going to start ripping through the members of Dark Passage as well. So, you know, they're just trading it right now for all that farm onto Tokka's that he was able to pick up. And, you know,
even on the run.
Gold versus team gold.
Well, Dark Passage will be able to grab themselves a free Cloud Drake. 30 minutes in. Baron buff still swirling for the moment, but is going to be done relatively soon.
It was already difficult coming into this game for INTZ to play a front-to-back game. Now it's even worse. Elise is coming into this portion of the game not going to be able to contribute much to these team fights. Really, all they have available to them is picks, simply because we only now are seeing 2 QSSs coming out. You did point out that they don't really need a QSS on their team other than perhaps Tom Kenchi's got it now.
Yep.
So that's really, at this point, Dark Passage can just play as a group. Never really look to get picked.
I think that's what it's about, right, though. They have to group up because they're still quite a short-range composition, so they need to group up. You know, you look to use the Baron buff and Fog of War to be able to take down turrets. And then when they don't have the Baron buff, not rush the tempo of the game. They still scale incredibly well. They shouldn't be going into siege situations. They should still just be playing around Fog of War as a team. And the important thing for INTZ here is that they need to be warding up entrances to their jungle, because as these rotations are coming across, they need to be able to catch someone out, subjugate them, and blow them up nice and quickly with Tokka's ultimate. Because you're right, in a 5v5 team fight with Sivir and Cassiopeia, where they are right now, there's not much hope for INTZ to win just a straight brute force.
Yeah.
Wow, you were talking of the Liandry's Torment. It is now done. This Malzahar in the mid lane. Tokka's will now be setting up to try and defend, but this inner turret going down very low. The ultimate used onto Kiray, who gets gobbled at the very end. Petrifying Gaze is going to stun Yang, but he's able to get out of there. Elwyn dives very deep and has to ult out immediately. As you can see, Revolta is going to survive for the moment. Some low health bars here, but Dark Passages have so much sustained damage.
But so do INTZ. Like, this is actually Dark Passage playing INTZ style one more time. I mean, I don't know how many members Rogu has to save before they realize it's a bad idea. But walking towards that turret, I mean, Kiray, the tankiest member, nearly instantly died.
Yeah. Rogu really needs to... oh, here we go.
Oh, there's the Seraph Shield as Kozq, of course, I believe just has his ultimate off cooldown now.
But yeah, if they're going to be playing that far forward, that far aggressively towards the towers, then Rogu needs to play a lot more farther up.
Yeah.
And so as a whole, he needs, because he's the sole member with QSS, there's nothing really for him to worry about. So it just comes down to what are they looking to do? Because technically, Dark Passage has complete control of what objective they need to play towards. They can take team fights, they can take objectives, they can take towers, but Rogu needs to be there through and through, throughout the entirety of it.
Well, outer turret going to be defended towards the top side of the map. Dark Passage now 5 turrets to 2. That mid outer and bottom outer have been taken down, but it's been a while since we've seen a turret fall in favor of INTZ. However, still the gold lead, only about 7,000. Still more items being built by INTZ. It is going to be the Blade of the Ruin King, Macau, but he does have the QSS at least. .50 CS is the lead for Zeitnot as well, who's been a silent achiever on this Civer.
He's just had so much space to play around the map with. I mean, everyone really has had to focus on CosQ, try and shut down his farming, which they haven't really been able to do. But
he's 30 ahead of the clock.
Yep, he definitely is farming up nicely.
I know you mentioned earlier, Spawn, about the itemizing coming out of Ezreal, that he should probably look towards going the
more of Malmodius.
Exactly, and so that's something. Honestly, it feels like him going towards straight damage might be a necessity with how far
they're behind. Yeah,
exactly. So if they were in a lead, that would be a great point to go towards for him.
Well, the reason that I love more, not just because, you know, right now Cassiopeia probably one-shots him, is because Echo does a lot of magic damage on Execute, and more combats that really well. It gives you some good lifesteal as you go below that threshold, as well as the shield. So can be quite good against Echoes that like to dive and stick to Ezreal's. But you're right. Right now, he's way too far behind. Had to go towards a Blade. They just need raw item efficiency. Blade's always going to give you that extra damage output. Also has some outplay potential there as well.
Yeah.
So see whether he can like challenge Zeitnot to a duel and come out ahead, for example.
He's definitely looking for it. Tried to go for it on CosQ. It's not the point of the game in which you can do that, but he's farming up a Storm. It'll be interesting.
They also have double Iceborne Gauntlets. I mean, pretty sticky squad coming out of INTZ right now. If they can somehow weather the Cassiopeia ult and then get away.
Well, Kira's going to take no damage here as he may have jumped a little bit too deep. Spire comes out of Joxter, but not able to do too much notable damage to the Rek'Sai. Taka's looking for his Void Staff as his next item, just the blasting one.
There we go.
Wow,
that's the duel I'm talking about.
Zeitnot takes a lot from Macau, but he might be too far up. Gets the Arcane Shift off, because now Joxter trying to defend for his AD. Teleport's coming down. INTZ want to take this fight.
You can see exactly why. Now they just go towards Baron. I mean, Correa is so low. We'll have to go back and ulti back in, but Tokas will burn through this objective if they have any time on it.
And INTZ throughout the set have been playing incredibly well with the Baron. Even if Dark Passage look to contest, they might find themselves in a fight they don't want.
Oh, Malzahar takes it so incredibly quickly. It is going to fall down. Revolta locks it up, but Joxter, he's going to fall. Yang and Revolta trying to get up the double flashes. That's how you do it. They escape the Baron pit. And that is going to be 4 Barons now rotating around INTZ.
If I could sum up this series, I would show that clip versus how Dark Passage take Baron. 2 members split towards the top. The 2 members with Flash just get the heck over the wall because it is not worth losing multiple members. Even if they give up this Elder Drake, it's still only 90 seconds.
No, they're going to double down on this. You better believe INTZ is going to look for this.
Well, they're trying to get in there. Revolta doesn't go for the steal. Understandable, as On the Hunt has been popped. Dark Passage want to get a pick.
They're in trouble.
Yeah, Tokas is going to get caught out. Macau now has to Arcane Shift. Will be able to do so as Yang puts down his ground.
Really silly play actually out of INTZ there. They should have just consolidated. 90 seconds versus a whole Baron buff is not that much time, and now all of a sudden they're looking for another pick onto Revolta.
Yeah, gets over to the
coming for him.
Cocoon avoided there, but CosQ just says, well, you don't have... Okay. Powered recall. Overpowered. Nicely done.
Yeah, really good play coming out of Dark Passage, but as you said, there was no reason for INTZ to look to contest that.
Whoa, Joxter has to flash. There's a lock of the Iron Solari as well as in goes Elwyn. Correa very, very low, but the ult comes out.
They're all through the turret.
Echo is going to be fine as, Rogu was tanking that one up, but can't do it anymore. Good crit from Zeitnot, but it's going to be very difficult. Revolta realizes that he can't do a whole lot of damage, and that is going to spell enough space for this inhibitor turret to fall down. I don't know how that worked, but Dark Passage made it work.
Because they fought past the turret. They didn't stop at the turret, which meant that, you know, they didn't have to tank it for that long. They were able to get every single member really far into the base, and the turret became a non-factor. So they take down the first inhibitor. Now, potentially, INTZ can look for a counter push, however, because they still have the Baron buff. They're going to be able to stream down mid lane, and recalls have been quite slow here out of Dark Passage.
Yeah.
But that was a really opportunistic play out of Dark Passage. There was very low margin for error.
Exactly, and we just saw a snippet of Zeitnot right now, his current power. He did finish up that Phantom Dancer in the IE. Currently, he has a lot of damage, and his ricochets did tear up INTZ quite a bit. So now, there is no way for INTZ to take a team fight going forward. They really have to be a little bit more creative in how they do so, either in an assassination, either Macau does go for that 1v1 you were talking about.
Well, right now, Koski looking for a potential flank with the miasma, but doesn't want to get silenced. And they are going to lose the inner turret in the mid lane.
I was trying to go for another option, saying either that or something else, but I just feel like that's the only option. Like, there's nothing else they can do. They don't even have split pressure priority at this point.
Yeah, no, they certainly don't. I mean, Elwin has, you know, pretty much got towards late game Echo, where he's just going to be able to wave clear against the Trundle. Trundle's got a very teamfight oriented build, probably going to finish up something like a GA here. And, you know, because they lost their support and mid laner after the Baron, as well as trying to contest for that Elder Drake very greedily, they lost all time with the Baron buff as well. So even though they come up with a heads up play, they just give it all back.
Koski almost with his 6 items. Rabadon's Death Cap looking to be the final one to be picked up. He will have so much ability power. It will be unbelievable. Looking forward to seeing what that number actually is.
I would be surprised if they decided to converge on this. This is an easy dive if they work with that mid tower. Now, it would have to take a lot of time. The next wave coming mid is going to take a long time. It looks like they just got the tower regardless.
Yeah, they just want to brute force at this stage of the game. I mean, INTZ acknowledge that they're pretty much nearing the 6 item mark regardless. You know, there's not really all that much to play for at that turret. Just stall out until you have your completed item builds as well.
Inhibitor turrets now being knocked on. Mid lane, of course, already down, but one mid lane inhibitor can be dealt with.
Yeah, and INTZ can commit their full 5-man lineup here, because that top wave is actually in their favor. So this is the best they can do in terms of holding this shove.
And what convergence? Not going to get too much. But Zeitnot, wow, tanks a lot of damage. Rogu, of course, there to keep him safe, but
the problem is
too much.
The E goes down, you still take damage in Calm Kenja's stomach, so Zeitnot still needs to be careful. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card, because Tokka's has 5 items. He only has a death cap to pick up as well, really.
Yeah. Barrage going to try and clear out the wave. You can see this inhibitor turret still above half health. Not a lot of wave clear able to get in here as Elwin. Nice double stun, double knock up as well as Zeitnot takes down the Karma. Revolta trying to escape. Exhaust used onto the Ezreal to get himself out of the way as Koski rips apart the turret. It's going to be the double for Zeitnot. 5-1-1 now on the Sivir as DP take down the inhibitor as well. What a performance from this team.
Koski did a great job there of making sure the focus was on the bottom side of the turret, and a double stun came out of Elwin. Now Zeitnot's just tearing through everyone. We're going to probably go to a game 5 here, guys. And Dark Passage riding momentum.
Yeah, exactly. The early game felt really scary for Dark Passage, but as the game went on...
Oh, Macau. Zeitnot with the Boomerang Blade. Yang gets in there for a last-ditch effort. Revolta tries as well. The Consume denies him everything. Koski grabs the last couple of kills, and that'll be the Nexus. What a performance. That snake was pretty huge.
That's nearly a solo carry. I mean, bottom lane was being shoved in. They were rotating into Kuray's jungle that game, but it was just Koski who was absolutely everywhere, like ghosting in, trying to save it, shoving up his mid lane, got a very early blue buff, and was able to use that pressure to really great effect for his team.